Welcome to Right Side Up. This is an online event about writing and mental wellness. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem. I am Hark Harold Sarmiento, and I am a teacher by profession. I am also a member of the Media Committee of the Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines. I will be your moderator for this morning. Right Side Up is brought to you by the Cultural Center of the Philippines, Cultural Content Department, through Intertextual Division, formerly known as the CCP Literature Division. This division is the office in charge of CCP literary events and publications. Nais ko ring ipakilala ang katuwang ng CCP sa pag-oorganisa ng event na ito, ang Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines. FWGP is an organization composed of Filipino freelance writers and is established to protect and promote the rights of these intellectual and knowledge workers in the Philippines. Buong maghapon po ang Right Side Up. In the morning, we will have messages from significant people who produced the Right Side Up. We will also have a presentation on the preliminary research about the general health and mental health of Filipino writers. At para po isara ang ating pang-umaga na session, we will have a one-on-one interview with a licensed psychiatrist. Dito po ay ibabahagi sa atin ang tips on coping with mental health and health challenges. Then, lunch po tayo from 12 to 1:30 ng hapon. Pagdating ng 1:30 ay mayroon po tayong 4 na talks that will be given by writers from the creative industry and the academe. Mahuhusay na manunulat po silang lahat. We will receive guidance on how to use writing as a tool to maintain wellness for our hearts and minds. Iyan po ang ating buong araw. So, please stay with us. You are invited to give feedback on the comment section. Again, welcome to Right Side Up. First to give us a warm welcome is the Vice President and Artistic Director of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, Mr. Chris B. Miliado.
Ito po si Chris Miliado, Artistic Director ng Cultural Center of the Philippines na bumabati sa lahat ng kasama dito sa Write Up workshop. Pasasalamat sa mga nag-organisa nito na pinamunuan ng ating head ng Intertextual Department na si Beverly C. at ang kanyang team, ang ating partner, ang Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines, yung executive committee nito sa pagpartner sa atin dito sa CCP, at syempre sa mga resource persons natin ngayong araw at sa lahat ng dumalo dito sa write-up workshop. Dalawa sa ating resource person ay kilala na natin dito sa CCP dahil nakatrabaho na natin. Sila po ay mag-asawang si Dr. Eli Nadera at saka si Dr. Vim Nadera. Ngayon, siguro minention ko ito dahil napakahalaga yung tambalang ito dahil dito nakikita yung kapangyarihan ng pagsusulat, sining, at yung pag-asawa ng sining ng pagsusulat at yung kapangyarihan ng medisina or healing. Alam naman natin na hindi lamang sa panahon pa ng Griego ay magkatambal na ang sining at ang medisina or ang paghilom. Hindi na natin kailangan tumingin pa siguro all the way to the Greek theater yung pagsasama nito, kundi mismo sa ating indigenous practice, lalo na sa ating mga mumbaki or mga healers sa iba't iba nating mga indigenous communities, kung saan kung may magkasakit na miyembro ng isang ng kanilang tribo or ng kanilang pamilya, ay kailangan, ang una nilang kailangan gawin ay tumbukin kung ano ang dahilan or sanhi ng sakit. At ang pagtumbok nito ay pagkukwento, ay kailangan buuin yung kwento kung saan nanggaling yung sakit, kung ano bang naapakan siguro ng nagkasakit na masamang espiritu. At ang pagsasagawa ng ritual na ito ay sinasalihan ng buong tribo or ng buong pamilya. So collective experience ang pagkikwento tungkol sa sanhi ng sakit. Kaya naihan tulad ko ang workshop na to sa ritual na yon. Alam naman natin na dumaan tayong lahat sa isang napakalubhang pandemya na hanggang ngayon ay patuloy nating nararanasan. Kaya yung workshop na to ay para sa akin ay parang pagkikwento ng sakit. No? Paggamit ng pagsulat upang maikwento kung anong sanhi ng sakit at sana ay maging daan ito sa paghilom. Kitang-kita natin yung kapangyarihan ng pagsulat upang isiwalat hindi lamang yung ating pangamba, kundi rin yung ating pag-asa upang maigpawanan natin ang sakunang ito. Dito sa Write Up ay sana maging platform ito upang unti-unti na nating puntahan ang naaaninag na katapusan nitong pandemya. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsali, sa inyong pagbuo, at sana'y maging mabunga itong buong araw sa paglikha at sa patuloy na paghilom sa pamaraan ng sining ng pagsulat. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Next is a member of the Executive Committee of the Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines, Excel Dikiangco.
On behalf of the Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines, we welcome you to Right Side Up, an online mental wellness and writing event that helps channel your minds and your emotions into words and expressions. For the whole day, you'll be hearing from renowned speakers who will talk about surviving through writing and reading, productivity and mental health, and writing exercises to help calm your mind. The FWGP is a workers' association that champions the causes and the rights of freelance writers, such as a fair, decent, and timely remuneration, mutually beneficial contracts, social protection, ease in doing business, and the health and well-being of each writer. We believe that this pandemic has impacted the mental health of every writer, and so through this event, we would like to help them ease their minds and use this time to their advantage. Again, we welcome you and enjoy the rest of the day. Happy learning!
Para sa unang talk, we welcome on the virtual floor Ms. Maria Fatima Villena. Ms. Maria Fatima A. Villena, Jofty for short, is a freelance health writer and technical consultant to various health and health-related NGOs and CSOs. She is training to become a health policy analyst through the MA degree program on Health Policy Studies, Health Science track of the College of Public Health, UP Manila. Her college degree, however, was AB Mass Communication, major in broadcasting.
Hello everyone! Welcome to our Right Side Up event. My name is Maria Fatima Villena. I'll be speaking about productivity and mental health, a profile of Filipino writers. So, we may not have the exact numbers to a face, but mental health issues are real to those writers who experience them. After all, many of our great literary authors were lost to suicide. I can name some of them: Ernest Hemingway, Charles Bukowski, Virginia Woolf, Sylvia Plath, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Leo Tolstoy, and Charles Dickens. Even the recent popular author J.K. Rowling of the Harry Potter series is also experiencing the same as the former writers famous authors that I have mentioned. They are all having difficulties in mental health, and some of the names that I've mentioned, uh, most probably two or three of them already died of suicide. There might be some truth to the writer creative stereotype. If we are to speculate, writers are more prone to mental health conditions because of the nature of their work and their constant isolation. Writers are believed to be keen observers of the world. They spend a great deal of time thinking critically, sifting through words and phrases, and distilling meaning until they make sense in a page. Several health professionals provided their expert opinions and affirmed this information about writers. K. Redfield Jameson, a PhD, a psychiatry professor at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in Baltimore and author of several books including Touched with Fire, Manic Depressive Illness, and the Artistic Temperament, has reported that writers have depression or manic depression more often than non-writers. Dr. Alan Manevitz, a clinical psychiatrist at Lenox Hill Hospital at New York City, gave several reasons why writers may be prone to depression. He said that familiarity with misery, pain, suffering may guide the process for some writers. Yet, writers may feel the need to be authentic, thus, may absorb trials in life more just to experience the same type of pain and misery like their characters in novels and others. He added that being a writer requires him or her to work in isolation. It is a solitary pursuit, therefore, lacks social interaction. This can set the stage for depression. Constant rejections may also play a big role in a writer's state of mind because success is equated on how other people may approve of him or her. Adjunct Assistant Clinical Professor of Psychiatry David Straker of the Columbia University Medical Center, New York, shared that most writers are used to write late at night or even only at night. This may throw off sleep-wake schedules, which may increase the chances of depression. He further adds that lack of sleep, exercise, natural light, and company can be recipes for depression. Dr. Manevitz also agreed to this as exercise boosts level of the brain's natural mood chemicals, endorphins, or what is more known as the happy endorphins or happy hormones. At the same time, he stressed the importance of eating a healthy diet, getting regular sleep, and spending time with friends and family. Straker, on the other hand, suggested joining a writer's group or taking a writing workshop or class to provide camaraderie. So, you see, our group, the Guild, Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines, is offering the same camaraderie to other writers as well. Recent findings from a 40-year study offer a bit of data into the issue of mental health and its relationship with creativity. This involved 1.2 million Swedish patients. Researchers found writers to have more than double the risk of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder compared to a control group of accountants. Writers also face a great risk of depression, anxiety disorders, and substance abuse. In addition, with or without mental condition diagnosis, authors have about 50% greater risk of suicide. In the same study, Swedish researcher also provided additional explanation as to why this is the case with writers. Theory of depressive realism is identified as one. Depressed people are depressed because they see the world as it is, depressing. Depressive realists may also be drawn to writing because they found it is ease their misery, and or a comic relief from the world and society they observe every day. Those who have traumatic experiences that led to mental health and substance abuse, on the other hand, may have found therapeutic value in writing. Survey conducted among FWGP members was done last November, December of last year. So around 39 members of the guild answered or responded to the survey, and that is 95% of our membership. The demographic profile of our FWGP writers, most of us are in our 40 to 50 years old, and followed by those in their 30s to 40s. We are heavily on the side of female, so meaning to say we have more female members than male. Or, sorry, more female who answered actually the survey than the male. Work. Most of us have, or rather, some of us, about 28.9%, have full-time regular work. And some of us also have project-based work. That's about 1 to 3 year contract, 18.4%. And many or most of our members are really freelancers, or some of us have 6 to 11 month contract, short term, about 81.6% of us. There are also some who have business, 21.1%, and others do some volunteer, non-tenured, and work and are not unemployed. Sorry. Most are on a work-from-home arrangement with 2 to 3 clients, some with occasional travels or as often as needed. Most of us work at 10 to 12 hours per day. Most have adequate spaces for both work and physical or leisure activities at home. For those lacking in space, their surrounding communities make amends. They said that relatively, they are residing in a safe, quiet, and peaceful environment, and that some have an issue on privacy. About our general health, most of our members actually perceived us having a fair health status. Some have slight oral health problems, and most have some slight mental health issues such as feeling anxious or anxiety. Most said that they are in control of their health. About the medical condition, most are managing chronic conditions. Like for example, myself, I am experiencing or I have an autoimmune disease. And this is chronic, meaning to say panghabang buhay na management ng aking kondisyon. Some do have conditions under the 4 recognized non-communicable diseases such as cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and COPD, or this is the obstructive pulmonary disorder. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. Some with mental health condition. Few said they're in good health, and some also said that they are already seeing the signs of aging. Health-seeking behavior. For most of the Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines writer members, they said that they have relatively good health-seeking behavior in terms of, not smoking, not drinking, using seat belts, and others. However, most seek professional help when they feel something is not right. So they do not go to the doctor or any health professionals when they don't feel anything or they just feel fine. So that is one thing that we should, as a guild, we should be looking into how to make our members or writers in general go to the doctors and do their annual or semi-annual physical examinations. On the productivity status, there are some challenges to being productive at home, despite the fact that most of us have been, working at home for several years now. So some said that one of the challenge is their health issue. There are mobility problems as well. Household chores, because you have to balance work with household chores, because most or some of our writers are also mothers. Poor internet access, as it is in the case of the entire Philippines, we don't have a really reliable internet infrastructure at this moment. So this is a problem. This can be an additional stress to writers. Signs of aging, again, because their energy level is fluctuating. And then, of course, lesser income, especially in this previous months where we have the pandemic, or until now, when we have the pandemic. Now, for the factors that help productivity, writer members of the FWGP said that a good working environment, better support system, good internet access, better health, deadlines, and tech-savvy co-workers, salary, income, meditation and prayer, having a schedule, and not overburdening oneself are the true factors that really help them improve their productivity. For their overall productivity status, most are productive, and better yet, can help contribute to the guild for whatever tasks will be assigned to them. They said that to improve further their productivity, work-life balance and better planning and management are needed. On happiness, most are happy. And the factors that either make members happy or unhappy revolves around the following: health, career, relationship, the political situation, and recreation. Overall happiness status is of average to above average happiness. They said that more encouragement, work-life balance, better health, and financial stability will make them even more happy. Yes, we writers work in isolation most of the time, but this does not mean we cannot huddle and care for our fellow writers and creatives in the industry. Thus, initiatives like Right Side Up event, brought to you by the Cultural Center of the Philippines and the Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines, a welcome opportunity for writers to show their camaraderie, their love, and care for their fellow workers and fellow writers. We writers need to write or need to prioritize our health because it is our only investment to a productive life. Remember that you need not be guilty if you take some time off, be offline, take the time out with your friends and family, do some gardening, go to the spa and gym. These are all self-care activities, and these are not selfish activities. So, on behalf of FWGP, I am again Jofty Villena, the Executive Director, and I thank you, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the event.
Napaka-informational presentation. Thank you, Ms. Villena and the FWGP for doing that research. Next in line ay isang eksperto mula sa larangan ng medisina at agham. Sasamahan po tayo ni Dr. Dina Palmera Nadera. Dr. Dina Palmera P. Nadera heads the Foundation for Advancing Wellness, Instruction, and Talents, also known as AWIT, an organization devoted to research and capacity building for the cause of mental health that she and her husband established in 2009. She is currently the resident psychiatrist at the UP Diliman Philippines Health Service and a research project leader at the Ateneo School of Medicine and Public Health. A fellow of the Philippine Psychiatric Association, she engages in different mental health activities for government and civil society organizations. She graduated from the University of Santo Tomas, BS Psychology, completed her medical education at the Virgen Milagrosa University in San Carlos City, Pangasinan, and obtained Master of Science in Epidemiology, Public Health from the University of the Philippines, Manila, and Master of International Mental Health from the University of Melbourne. Good morning po, Dr. Nadera.
Magandang umaga sa iyo, Heart.
Yes po. Doktora, since ang topic po natin is mental health, we would like to know first, ano po ba ang mental health and in contrast with mental illness?
Okay, ang mental health ay basically it's a state of wellness. No? Malinaw dapat yon. In contrast to mental health, it is a state of mental ill health. So mental health ay considered na the state of being where one knows his potentials and capacities, is able to contribute to community, can cope with the daily stresses of life, has the resilience to overcome the extreme life experiences, at saka meron siyang purpose. No? So yun yung state of mental well-being or mental health. Sa mental illness naman, ito yung tinatawag natin na meron siyang state of ill health that is manifested sa kanyang actions, sa feelings, at saka sa behavior, saka sa thinking. Okay? At ang lahat ng ito, yung actions, the thinking, and the feeling, are sort of not appropriate doon sa situation. At ito ay merong biochemical basis, meron siyang psychological, social basis, at meron din siyang environmental basis.
Okay po. So, base po dun sa sinabi nyo, so meron po pala talagang mental illness. Kasi po may naririnig ako, may mga nagsasabi po na gawa-gawa lang daw po yung mga depression, ganyan, and other mental illnesses. So, how would you, as a psychiatrist po, how would you respond to that po?
Ang ganitong pananaw kasi sa aking palagay ay isang katunayan na medyo mababa ang ating pagkaintindi sa konsepto ng lusog-isip kung tawagin namin. Ito yung mental health literacy. So mababa yung mental health literacy o yung pag-intindi sa lusog-isip, kaya iba yung kanilang pananaw. Hindi naman natin sila pwedeng sisihin dahil iba siguro yung kanilang kinalakhan, iba yung kanilang kamalayan, pero ito ay kailangan nating gawa ng paraan na maging tama, maging wasto yung pananaw.
Okay po. So, paano naman po malalaman yung isang tao kung meron siyang mental illness? So, para po ba rin itong normal na sakit na meron mga symptoms?
Okay, para itong karaniwang sakit, no, na mayroong mga sintomas. Katulad ng sinabi ko, kapag ang isang tao ay may problema sa lusog-isip or meron siyang mental illness, meron siyang kakaibang pakiramdam, pag-iisip, at saka pagkilos. Kaya ito rin ang mga warning signs, no, ng isang taong may mental illness. So maaaring nagbabago yung kanyang pag-uugali, hindi niya kaya ang ordinaryong problema sa pang-araw-araw na buhay, o kaya naman nagkakaroon siya ng kakaibang paniniwala, no? May kakaibang kapangyarihan, yung mga ganon. At saka, pwede rin magkaroon siya ng sobrang pag-alala. Yung hindi naman dapat na nag-worry, pero sobrang nag-worry siya sa puntong hindi na niya alam kung anong gagawin o frozen na lang siya. Maaari ding mag-iba yung kanyang pagtulog at saka pagkain, o kaya yung kanyang pakiramdam na depressed siya ngayon, hyper siya bukas, yung may mood swings kung tawagin. O kaya naman tumataas ang kanyang pagkonsumo ng alcohol o lumalakas siyang manigarilyo. Yung iba naman, nagkakaroon din sila ng sobrang galit, no? Magagalitin, irritable. So, maraming warning signs ang mental illness.
Okay po. So, we are talking about these symptoms po. Pero marami pong tao na nakaka-experience at merong mga symptoms na ganito ng mental illness. Pero hindi po sila lumalapit sa psychiatrist. kasi natatakot sila na baka painumin sila ng gamot. So, ano po ba yung basis nung paggagamot sa mental illness po?
Okay. Yung mga sinabi ko kanina, no, maaari kasi silang maging normal na reaction sa isang abnormal na sitwasyon. So, hindi mo naman kakaagad sabihin na, ay, may mental illness siya. Maaring ito ay tinatawag natin isang mental health problem na less severe than mental ill health. Okay? So, kapag ang isang mental health problem ay naging mas malala na at meron na at tinatawag na namin siyang mental disorder o mental illness, ito yung puntong ang isang tao ay hindi na niya nagagampanan yung dapat niyang gawin dahil naapektuhan na siya ng husto ng lahat ng mga sintomas. Kasi maaari naman tayong mainitin ang ulo, pero pumapasok tayo sa trabaho, maganda yung reporting natin, maganda yung production natin, di ba? Pero wala kang sakit sa isip nun. Natural lang sa'yo na ganun yung pag-uugali mo. So, hindi ka kailangang gamutin, no? Bigyan ng gamot. Yung maggamot kasi ng mga tableta na kinatatakutan ng marami, ay ibinibigay lamang kung ito ay talagang moderate to severe na yung mental illness.
So hindi po lahat ng mga nagkakaroon ng mental illness ay necessary na maggamot. So parang hindi po dapat katakutan na yung paggagamot po.
Marami kasing klase ang mental disorders or mental illness. No?
Yes po.
Hindi naman yan iisa lang, o depression lang, anxiety lang, psychosis lang, hindi eh. May iba't ibang klaseng sakit sa isip. At ang iba dito ay hindi naman talaga ginagamot sa paraan ng mga tableta.
Ano po yung mga causes po ng mental illness na binabanggit po ninyo and saan po ba nanggagaling yung mental illnesses po?
Pagka sinabi mo kasing cause no, ng mental illness, marami yan. No? At maaaring ito ay isa o kombinasyon ng biological factors, kung tawagin natin. No? Is it genetic? Is it because of poor nutrition? Is it because of birth trauma? Yung traumatic na birth na, for example, difficult delivery? Or is it psychological also? Okay? Meron talaga siyang inherent personality traits that makes them at risk for developing mental illness? Or is it social? No? Meron ding mga severe parental discord, merong economic hardship, no, poverty, or exposure to friends who actually died of suicide or close family members who died of suicide. And then meron ding environmental, okay? Like exposure to toxins, no? Mga lead poisoning as smoke, okay? So, yung dahilan ng isang mental illness ay kombinasyon ng mga factors na to, no? Biological, psychological, social. Kaya tinatawag namin itong biopsychosocial framework.
Okay po. So, may mga experiences po pala na possible po na kahit na wala ka dating mental illness or usually parang normally yung buhay mo ay ganito tapos biglang may mangyayari sa iyo in your experience na magti-trigger po ng mental illness.
Tama, Heart, no? Magti-trigger ang isang situation. Pero tandaan natin na cumulative yan. Hindi naman isang bagsak, yun na kaagad, no? Cumulative yan. Slowly, throughout your life course, meron kang mga na-develop na problems with personality, problems with relationship with other people. Alam mo yun? So kapag may isang dagok sa buhay, yung social relationships mo na sana nagiging support sa'yo, hindi siya nagiging support. So, kapag gusto talaga nating intindihin yung mental illness, tignan din natin may mga tinatawag tayong protective factors. So, kahit na marami kang dagok sa buhay, kung malakas yung mga protective factors mo, hindi rin ibig sabihin na magkakasakit ka sa isip kaagad.
Okay po. So, parang kapag malakas po yung support system, so, ay yung mga friends around, yung mga colleagues, so, mas less po na magkaroon ng mental illness yung isang tao. Tama po ba yun?
Maaaring less yung chances or less severe kung sakaling nag-develop.
Okay po. So, ang tanong po ngayon, halimbawa po na yung isang tao ay nagkaroon ng mental illness. Gumagaling pa po ba sila? Kasi po may mga terminologies po na like yung nagre-relapse o kaya naman ay nagre-recur. So, ang tanong po ay, can mental illnesses be cured and how is the treatment process po?
Well, dito siguro malinaw na ah, intindihin natin kung ano yung pagkakaiba ng treatment at saka cure, no? Mental illness can be treated dahil mawawala yung sintomas at gaganda yung kalidad ng buhay, no? We improve the quality of life through the treatment. Unfortunately, the nature of mental illness is chronic and recurring. Okay? So we cannot, at this point, wala pa tayong masasabing perfect na cure for mental illness. There is always that chance for recurrence, no? Depending on biological, psychological, social, and environmental factors. Again, parang diabetes, no? Kapag ka mataas ang blood sugar mo ngayon at maganda yung maintenance mo sa gamot, maaaring wala kang sintomas, no? You get treated. Pero at one point, maaaring mag-shoot up na naman yung blood sugar mo pagka huminto ka ng gamot. So you may be treated, no? So bababa yung sugar but you're not cured of your diabetes.
Okay po. So, we are already talking about the cure and the treatment po, no? But we have this familiar adage that says prevention is better than cure. Ang tanong ko po ngayon ay, can mental illness be prevented?
Definitely, we can actually prevent mental illness, no? Actually, dun sa unang mong tanong kanina, no, paano ba yung treatment process?
Yes
Yung
po.
isang treatment process kasi doon, yung tinatawag nating psychoeducation, no? Nagbibigay tayo ng mga aral ng mga lessons tungkol sa mental health. So ito ay isang proseso ng treatment at the same time isang proseso din siya ng prevention. Ang strengthening ng social support, okay, ay isang part din ng treatment at isang part din ng prevention. Ang pagkakaroon ng purpose sa araw-araw na ginagawa natin, no, yung daily functioning natin. So ito ay isang prevention din ng mental illness. So basically, ang sinasabi natin kapag tinataas natin yung antas ng ating lusog-isip, when we promote our mental health, we are actually preventing also mental illness. So, matatandaan nyo siguro na may mga taon na bago nagkaroon ng batas sa bullying, iniuugnay ang bullying sa mental illness, no? Totoo ito. So, even schools, for example, can develop pro-social environment to prevent mental illness. Yung mga ganun ba? Even workplaces can provide less stigmatizing environments to prevent mental illness. So, pwede talaga siyang ma-prevent.
Okay po. So, based po doon sa sinabi niyo and in your discussion, so ang mental illness po talaga pala is a condition that we need to address. Pero, ano po kaya yung nagpe-prevent sa maraming tao na nakakaranas nito from seeking treatment? And ano po yung pwedeng mangyari pag ipinagsawalang bahala po natin ito?
Yeah. Worldwide, ang problema sa mental illness ay stigma at saka discrimination. Okay? Yung stigma, ito yung maling pagkaintindi, no? Yung misinformation about mental illness or mental health. Okay? Tapos it leads to discrimination. This is the action as a result of stigma. Mali yung paniniwala eh. So mali yung trato. So all over the world, ito yung unang-una na nagiging dahilan kung bakit may prevention sa help-seeking behavior. Importante talaga na magkaroon tayo ng magandang pananaw, no, at pagkaintindi sa mental illness dahil kapag hindi ito nagamot, maaaring hindi tayo makapagtrabaho. So it leads to economic loss. maaaring tumaas ang tsansa na magdadroga, magkakaroon ng masamang bisyo, at meron naman mga tao na dahil marami silang nararamdaman sa katawan ba? Alam mo yun, wala naman silang sakit, sinasabi nila may sakit sila. They undergo several medical procedures which will actually endanger their bodies also, at saka yung kanilang pera ay mauubos din, no? Sa papa-CT scan, papa-angiogram, kung ano-anong gusto nilang gawin. At maaari din itong humantong sa suicide, no? Ang suicide ay hindi naman siya talaga yung sakit sa isip, pero ito ay komplikasyon ng sakit sa isip. So yan yung mga consequences for not treating mental illness.
Okay po. So, nabanggit niyo po na there's a certain stigma attached to people with mental illness. We just want to know po, is it possible for a person diagnosed with mental illness to become productive or successful despite their circumstance? And what can we do po to help people who are experiencing it?
Okay, so para mo sinabi, posible ba na ang isang taong may sakit sa isip ay makapagtrabaho pa ulit? Oo. Okay? Anong pwede natin gawin? Madami, no? So, unang-una, ang paano mangyayari na ganun ay ang early intervention. So, early identification and intervention para hindi siya lumala or hindi tumagal. Kasi kapag tumagal na, mas mahirap na siyang gamutin. Okay? So, anong pwedeng gawin natin? For example, among the writers, no? Kung aware tayo kung ano yung mga warning signs, then we can easily spot our colleagues and ask them to, offer help for treatment. Okay? So, that way, mape-prevent natin yung pagiging seryoso ng sakit at makakapagtrabaho sila kaagad. No? Kapag compliant ka sa medication and sa therapy, mataas din yung chances, no, na ikaw ay makababalik sa trabaho. Kapag ikaw ay may mga protective factors tayong sinasabi, no, kapag maganda yung support system, not only sa family but social network ng workplace, then ikaw ay makakabalik pa rin sa trabaho. Unfortunately, there are some conditions na mas mahirap ma-treat kumpara dun sa iba. So, yan yung reality.
Okay po. So, thank you po for answering my questions. And ngayon naman po, narito ang ilan sa mga kadalasang tanong ng mga kapwa natin manunulat tungkol po sa mental health issues. Yung una pong tanong, paano po makaiwas sa pag-overthink? Lagi po kasi akong nag-aalala at nag-iisip. Pamilya, trabaho, pera, bahay, kaibigan, future. So, lahat na lang po iniisip ko lagi. So, ayun po yung first question niya.
Okay. Ngayon, lalo na ngayon, sa panahon ng pandemya, ang dami talaga nating iniisip mula sa sarili natin hanggang sa buong bansa, no? Ang mahalaga kasi ay i-identify natin ano ba yung within our control. Okay? Within your control ba ang isang bagay, for example, ang pagkain mo bukas? Okay? Is there something that you can do dito? Within your control ba kung may trabaho ka pa next year, no? Is it something you can control now? Or is it something that you should worry about now? So, may mga limitasyon kasi kung ano yung kontrolado natin. So, isa yon. Ang pangalawa siguro ay yung pagiging mindful, no? Nauso-uso na ngayon yung mindfulness. Pero ang ibig lang sabihin nun, being present at this moment, okay? So, it's important for us to appreciate what we have, make use of what we have, and focus on what we have, maximize them, para mas malakas yung assurance natin kung anong meron tayo, kaysa dun sa pag-aalala natin kung ano yung wala tayo. So, that's also another way of addressing your overthinking. Now, the other way is to talk to people. No, because other people will enlighten you about what you should be worrying about now. For example, freshie ka, pumasok ka sa university. Ang iniisip mo na kagad, gagraduate ba ako? Diba? that's beyond your control at this point. What is within your control now is kung papasa ka dun sa isang 3-unit subject. Right? So, there are actually ways naman na ma-regulate natin yung overthinking na yan.
Okay po. So, huwag mag-overthink. Ngayon po, yung second question na meron tayo from our writer is, maraming beses akong nalalapitan ng mga kaibigan na may problema. Hindi ako makatanggi sa pakikipag-chat sa kanila, pero sa totoo lang po, nade-drain na ako. Hindi ko masabi sa mga kausap ko dahil po napakabigat ng kanilang mga sinasangguni. Baka kung ano po ang gawin nila kapag walang kumausap sa kanila. How do I take care of myself, my own feelings and thoughts? Ayun po.
Oo, alam mo, madalas nating nararanasan yan at madalas na rin may nagtatanong sa akin na isang care provider or supporter kung tawagin namin. Unang-una, no, self-care is very important. How do you take care of yourself? No, you connect with other people. You talk about what you're feeling if you are comfortable. You try to learn new things, no? Maybe you should read up also. Kasi kung gusto mo naman na ikaw yung pinupuntahan, might as well, karirin mo na. Diba? Pag mag-aral ka, you learn something new. You learn ways of answering questions or talking to people. And then it's also important to give options. So, kung sa palagay mo hindi mo kaya, just be honest and tell them, alam mo, I wish I could help you more than what I'm offering you now. Maybe makakatulong ito. Gusto mo bang subukan natin? Okay? So, dapat marami ka ng options. At you just assure this person that you are there, but you also have your limitations, but you can help this person find other ways na matulungan siya. Okay, or na ma-refer siya kung kakailanganin. Then the other one also is just to, kumustahin mo na lang siya every now and then, just parang, you can say, I'm sorry, I cannot help you now, pero you keep connected with this person once in a while. Kukumustahin mo siya, balitaan mo siya kung anong meron, and then maybe you also encourage this person to have a gratitude journal, a thank you journal listing many things na meron siya kung type niya, kasi may mga taong hindi type yun eh. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
So yun.
Okay. So, pero wag pong i-reject, wag pong agad itataboy kapag may lumalapit sa inyo kasi baka magkaroon ng negative impact.
Yes, tama ka, Heart, no? Hindi mo kasi pwedeng sabihin, naku, iba na lang ang kausapin mo, wag ako kasi hindi ko alam yan, no? Yung ganon ay hindi nakakatulong. Kasi pwede mong sabihin, naku, hindi ko alam sa ngayon kung paano, mag-research tayo or, magtanong-tanong tayo. Then that is a better way.
Yes po. Thank you po. And yung pong third question natin from our writer is, I want to write, blog, and post on social media my thoughts and honest feelings. Kaya lang, di ko po magawa kasi baka may ma-offend ako na boss or katrabaho ko or kapamilya ko. Pero I always feel na sasabog na ako sa galit or sa frustration or sa panic. Gusto ko sana mailabas ito at ma-share sa iba. Sa totoo lang, what should I do po?
Ano yun, para siyang nagra-rant sana, pero swabing rant? Ganun ba yon?
Parang siguro po gusto niya, parang yung medium of expression niya ay yung social media para magra-rant nga po siya doon. So, para mailabas niya yung saloobin mo.
Ang madalas naming sinasabi, kapag ka may angry emotion ka at gusto mo sanang iparating ito sa ibang tao, isulat mo lang, i-email mo muna sa sarili mo. At pakiramdaman mo, ikaw na nakatatanggap ng ganyang mensahe, ano ba ang mararamdaman mo at ano ba ang dating sa'yo? Okay, so isang punto de vista yon. Pangalawa, maaari naman na ito ay idaan para sa visual na humor. Alam mo yon, yung basta pwede kasi siyang visual na parang magpasaring, 'di ba? Pero hindi diretsahan na parang nakiki-argue ka. Kasi ang mga artist, yan yung alam mo, yan yung kanilang forte, no? Na ipaparating nila yung kanilang damdamin, yung kanilang idea sa pamamagitan ng paraan na mas natatanggap dahil it is in the form of art. Okay. Maaari din na idaan mo siya sa physical activities o sa exercise. Kung galit ka, bumili ka ng punching bag, mag-boxing ka. Alam mo yon, there are ways, of course hindi naman yun lang, but there are ways to really express your negative emotions in more positive or more acceptable means. So exercise is actually one. Taking a long walk is another.
Yes po. Thank you po. And then, yung ating pong fourth question is, how do I deal with a coworker who seems to use mental health issues as an excuse in putting off work? I'd like to understand this person, kaya lang po, naapektuhan na rin kami mga katrabaho niya sa sitwasyon niya. Magaling siya, kaya po ayaw namin siyang mag-resign. Kaya lang, members of the team refuse to work now with this person because laging sagabal po yung mental health issues sa work and tasks.
Ngayon kasi meron na tayong Republic Act 11036, no, yung Mental Health Act. At meron ding sinasabi doon tungkol sa workplace, no, mental health in the workplace. So nagbibigay yung Mental Health Act ng ilang guidelines kung paano magkaroon ng mental health programs in the workplace. Maaaring ito na yung panahon kung kailan natin dapat tignan yung workplace policies natin. Kasi pwede naman kasi na ang isang workplace policy ay mag-disclose ka ng mental health issues mo para ikaw ay nasasabihan na kung ano yung dapat mong gawin at i-accept mo yon. Dahil hindi ka naman nawawala sa decision meron ka pa rin namang decision-making capacity, no? Na sabihin na kaya ko to at hindi ko to kaya. Now, kapag dun sa work ay pabalik-balik, no, yung kanyang mental health problem, siguro magkakaroon dapat ng partnership yung workplace ay yung administrators with a mental health professional. Okay? At kailangang mag-impose sila ng parang proof na siya ay nagpapatingin or gumagawa siya ng paraan para tulungan niya yung sarili niya. Kasi fair lang naman yon, di ba? Basta't ang end goal natin ay habang nagtatrabaho siya, ginagawan din niya ng paraan na napabubuti yung sarili niya. Pero kung talagang hindi pa rin napabubuti yung sarili niya at nakakapekto sa trabaho, maaari sigurong makipag-ugnayan yung employer sa doctor or in writing kung fit to work pa yung taong yon. Ang fit to work does that mean na parang forever na sentence na yan. Yung fit to work, like fit to work for the next 2 months, fit to work for the next 3 months, fit to work depende dun sa ganito at sasabihin kung ano yung nature ng job. Ganyan din ang ginagawa namin sa school, SAR. Kung kaya ba niya mag-enroll or hindi. Diba? Naguguluhan din yung mga group work. Alam mo yung mga group mates pag may isang student na hindi tumutulong sa group work. So kung minsan kinakausap na kami, no, nire-refer na siya sa amin para i-assess kung kakayanin niya talaga. So maybe this can actually be done, no, sa mga workplace.
Okay po. So, kailangan pag-aralan and magkaroon ng mga definitive actions regarding po sa mental health and mental illness po. No?
Yes, and you have to look it also from an administrative point of view. Kasi work yung naapektuhan hindi lang naman relationship. Kung work ang naapektuhan, administrative yan. Hindi naman pwedeng si friend lang ang sasalo sa'yo lagi.
Hindi pwedeng lagi ka nilang iniintindi. Dapat tulungan mo rin yung sarili mo na mag-improve and mag-grow in mental health po. So, ayun po. Yung fifth question po natin, I think this is the last question from our writers. Whenever I feel depressed, people tell me to pray and seek help from God. Paulit-ulit na lang. Kung ano-ano pang Bible verse and mga verses ang pinapabasa sa akin. I am not religious, but I am not a bad person either. How do I tell people that I don't need that kind of advice without offending them?
Sa Filipino culture kasi, di ba nabanggit ko kanina yung biopsychosocial framework. Sa totoo lang, kapag ka-Asian, no, it's biopsychosocial-spiritual. Mahirap tanggalin yung spiritual aspect. And when we talk of spiritual aspect, we don't actually talk of religion. We talk of values. Okay, the value of courage, the value of resilience, the value of industry, the value of service, ganon. Now, when somebody talks to you na hindi mo type, no, you can just say na, I heard you and I'm going to also ask for the opinion of other people if you don't mind. Diba? So, hindi mo naman sinabing ayaw mo. Or, pwede mo namang sabihin na, oo nga, nasabi mo na yan dati. And then you ask questions na, ano pa kaya yung pwede aside from that? Para alam nila na you are appreciating also the fact that they want to help, but hindi mo type, no? Now, the other is, kung hindi mo type talaga, don't ask help dito sa taong to. Now, if they offer help, hindi mo type, di wag mong tanggapin. Ganun siya. But you don't have to say something like, ayoko. Kasi that will actually be some indication also that you have problems with regulating your mood and behavior again.
So, Doktora, yan na po yung mga questions that I have for today. And meron po ba kayong, bago po tayo magtapos, meron po ba kayong gustong sabihin na final message po para sa ating mga writers na nakikinig sa atin ngayon?
Well, marami akong gustong sabihin, pero siguro yung very specific sa writers, no? I would encourage the writers to really make use of their art to elevate, no, the discussions on mental health. Use literature, use writing to go for mental health advocacy. Use your craft in order to help people destigmatize, no, and discriminate less persons with mental health problems. And also make use of your craft to get yourself better because art is really therapeutic.
So maraming salamat po for this healthy discussion, Dr. Nadera, for letting us understand mental health and mental wellness po.
Maraming salamat din sa iyo, Hark.
At dito po nagtatapos ang morning sessions ng Right Side Up online event on writing and mental wellness. Dito po nagtatapos ang morning sessions ng Right Side Up online event on writing and mental wellness. Para sa napakagandang digital poster ng ating event, thank you Dr. Shirley Lua for giving us the permit to use the artwork of Chua Keng Keng Lua entitled Water Fairies. The Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines kicks off its freelance series with FWGP with the webinar Job Hunting 101, How to Find Legitimate Freelance Jobs and Spot Red Flags on Saturday, 20th of February 2021, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Philippine time. Join seasoned freelance writers and FWGP's very own Isa Baxa and Cecil Baltazar as they share practical tips on how and where to find legitimate writing opportunities. Learn how to spot red flags and how to avoid being scammed by unscrupulous clients. At may isa pa tayong announcement mula sa CCP. Visit the CCP Facebook page for more CCP events on arts and culture. You may also want to visit the CCP Shop Facebook page and check our catalog of various publications and merchandise. Ang CCP Shop ay ang inyong one-stop online shop for art and culture books, multimedia products, hard-to-find publications, and limited edition merchandise. Isang click lamang ay matatagpuan ninyo ang souvenir items from past and current CCP productions, special memorabilia, and rare collectibles. I-like din natin ang CCP Shop Facebook page and follow the CCP Shop on Instagram. Join the mailing list and be the first to receive promo vouchers at malalaking discount sa ilang natatanging items. Happy shopping! Muli po, ako si Har Carol Sarmiento, ang inyong naging tagapagpadaloy. Balik po tayo ng 1:30 ng hapon. Narito po ang mga mangyayari sa hapon.